All right, boys, so it's a little late, it's getting dark out, and it is finally time to pull the motor. So I got the transfer case out. That was honestly the hardest thing I've ever had to do to a car. If you guys are doing this at home, I highly recommend dropping the subframe as far as you can to get clearance to be able to get the transfer case out and then pull the drive shaft out. I tried to do it without pulling the drive shaft and it wasn't happening. So right where the drive shaft connects, like halfway back to the car, the very first like joint, I guess, or whatever, pull those 4 bolts and then just slide the drive shaft out, and then the transfer case you should be able to wiggle out. But yeah, the subframe dropping, that was the biggest key to getting it out. It is finally out of the car. I've got everything removed. I've got the hoist ready to go. I have everything hooked up to the block. And my boy Dylan's coming over now and we're gonna try and pull this thing out. My goal for tonight, I wanna get this motor pulled and then I wanna go ahead and get the transmission separated. I already got the throwout bearing disengaged. Everybody said it was a pain in the butt, but it took me literally 5 minutes. So maybe I just got super lucky. Yeah, that is disengaged. I wanna get the transmission separated. I want to get the clutch off, and I want to hopefully get the new motor in here. We'll see if I get that far tonight. I need to make sure everything is torqued down, like the clutch and everything, and make sure the clutch is in good condition. This is crazy. I cannot believe how much work it is to drop a motor. Everybody doesn't say it's easy, but everybody makes it look easy, and this has not been easy for me, but I've done it all myself. But other than that, I should be able to get this thing running by myself, hopefully, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself. All right, boys, so somehow this is working. It is just pissing coolant everywhere, but that's okay. We got this. Dylan came to the rescue. I figured 2 sets of hands will be better than 1, but honestly, my idea of this thing just tilting up is working perfect. So now we just got to clear the wiring harness. Oh, baby, this is crazy. So you guys saw we got the motor out. I'm honestly so stoked. I can't believe I pulled a motor by myself. It's crazy. I mean, I had help pulling the actual motor, but everything leading up to it, I did myself. I dropped the subframe. I took everything off, like super crazy. And today, my goal is to get the transmission off, get the clutch off, get the clutch bolted to the new motor, and hopefully get the motor back in tonight. My goal is to have the motor back in here, and then we'll start bolting everything back up. I don't know how long that's gonna take. I feel like the transfer case is probably gonna be the worst part of getting this thing back together, but it's gonna be super fun. I want this car up and running within the next few days. So let's go ahead, let's break this thing down and get it prepped and ready. Alright guys, so the lighting in here is not perfect, so I am using my phone's flashlight, but I got the Evo motor back in. Every single mount is on, so we have the transmission side on, we have the torque solution mount back there that holds the back of the transmission onto the subframe, and then we have this left side over here. I'd say 3 hours to get that motor back in. Just fighting to try and get everything lined up was such a pain. So with this Harbor Freight cherry picker, I did get the leveler, and this made everything so much easier. So I hooked a bolt over here to where the power steering pump goes, and then I hooked another one on this backside, and it tilted the motor like this. So what I did is I dropped the transmission side in first, then I lowered this side. I got this mount on first, I got that mount on second, and then I did that one back there that you can't see last. I don't know if that's the easiest way to do this, but that is how I did it, and it actually turned out okay. Honestly, we should have this thing back together in the next 2 days, and we'll be able to crank it up, see if it runs, get it retuned, and then she will be ready to go. So we'll have 2 Evos, and then I don't know if the video is gonna be before this one. I bought my dream car, guys, and it's sitting right, oh, that's all you get. It's a dream come true. I'm so stoked on it. But yeah, we have 2 Evos. I don't know if I'll end up keeping these. I want to keep one Evo. One is for sale. This one already is. So if you guys are interested, it does have hail damage. Other than that, it's completely bone stock and it's beautiful. So if you want this, it is for sale. This one I'm gonna daily. I couldn't be more happy that I get to wrench on cars and that I successfully did this, guys. I did this by myself. I pulled a motor and I put a motor in, and I know I didn't rebuild it, but this is huge for me. I used to not even be able to do brakes and oil changes and simple things, and now we're pulling motors. This is crazy. My life has taken such a weird direction, and I never thought I'd enjoy wrenching or like enjoy being in the garage getting dirty and building these things and fixing them, and I love it. It's my new obsession. I'm a bodybuilder, and I guess now I'm a legit car guy, so I seriously cannot wait to show you guys my new car. It feels really surreal. So one thing about me is I didn't come from money. I didn't come from like a wealthy family, and my mom, she's the sweetest soul in the world, and she does super well for herself, and she was so giving growing up. But once I was kind of on my own, I started working at 15, and since then I've been grinding. Like literally I got a job as soon as I hit 15 at KFC, and eventually started doing my own thing. I run an Amazon business now, and it has allowed me to do this and do car stuff, and I've literally never been gifted money. I didn't have money. I'm not a trust fund baby, and this is all just through hard work. Yeah, dedication. I don't know. So if I hope I can inspire somebody out there, because it's not like these are that cool. Like they're just, you know, old Japanese cars, and the car I just bought is an old Japanese car, but it's like my JDM dream. Like I've literally dreamed of this thing for so long, and I just feel so blessed that I was able to do it. And the world's crazy and life's crazy, and I'm just really excited. It's gonna be freaking sick. You're gonna see my dream car, and I love you guys. Alright guys, so I've been absolutely terrible about filming. I don't know how people wrench, film, and like get all the angles, because it is super tight space. It's really hard to film. Here's the update for you guys. So the car is 99% put back together. We have the turbo kit back on. We have the intake manifold back on. We got all the intake piping back on. We need to do the serpentine belt, and then I do need to fill the transfer case and the transmission. I did drain the old oil. So So we got to put some fresh oil in this thing. I also need to put fluid in the radiator, and this thing should be ready to fire. I'm honestly super nervous, but I think it's gonna go okay. Honestly, this has been the biggest project I've ever taken on, and I've loved every single second of it. There's been a little bit of frustration, but honestly, I can't wait to keep rebuilding cars. I really want to do a Subaru NEC or an Evo. I don't care now that I know Evos and I know how to take the motors out and put them back in. It's been a lot of fun. So something I did not show you guys or talk about. The old turbo was bad, so check this out. So here is the old turbo. Now this I thought was an Evo 9 turbo, but it was actually the stock turbo off of this car, and now it has 110,000 miles on it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to, there's a lot of back and forth, and that turbo was completely shot. So what I did is I went out and I found a stock turbo to replace it. I swapped everything over, and yeah, so this is the old turbo. So I might get this thing rebuilt to swap onto this, or I'm just gonna keep this as backup for a build in the future. So this thing has a brand new motor. It has a brand new turbo. You just gotta bleed the coolant system, make sure this thing fires up. I'm really nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm super nervous to start this thing. I hope it goes okay. I hope there's not a lot of leak. I'm praying for a smooth, easy process, but it's my life and nothing is ever smooth. So we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty sure I have all my grounds hooked up. Everything should be good to go. And I did check, the transmission shift's fine, the clutch feels fine. Let's hope for the best, boys. Oh guys, I'm so nervous, but everything is good to go. We got the coil packs hooked up, batteries plugged in, coolant is ready to go, ready to be burped, and I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Everything should be good. I've double checked everything. Everything's tight. All the hoses are on. We should be good. So I guess without further ado, I'm gonna pop the garage door open and we're gonna see if this thing fires. Slightly nerve-wracking, but we got this. All right, so ignition's on. Just wanted to make sure nothing's on fire. I don't think anything would catch on fire. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. Let's see what happens. Pray, let's hope for the best. Our neutral, okay. Oh, clutch maybe? Oh my God. She's alive. Holy shit. She is alive. Oh my God. I got scared. Holy shit. Guys, I did it. I did it. I swapped the motor. Holy shit. Okay, let's see if there's any leaks. Wait. What? All right, boys. So you guys saw we got the car to run. I got really scared. I shut it off. And then off camera, I started it again just because I wanted to see how it would idle. And everything was good, but I noticed a leak coming from the left-hand side. And I thought the transfer case was leaking on to the downpipe, but it turns out one of the injectors is leaking fuel, which is really scary. So as you guys know, oil is flammable, but fuel is super flammable. So I didn't let the car get warm, thank God, because literally fuel was dripping straight down onto the downpipe and then going on the ground. So I shut the car off immediately, and now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna prime the system so the fuel pumps start. And I'm gonna see if I can pinpoint exactly where the fuel is coming from. But other than that, like, the car sounds beautiful, she sounds perfect, and holy crap, it honestly feels so wild. Like, I bought this car with a blown motor. I never had heard this car run. It had never been started. I literally just bought it, swapped a motor in, and now she's running. It's like the weirdest thing to me, taking a car that doesn't run and making it run. Like, as soon as we get this little leak fixed, which will be super simple, I'll just have to wait a few days to get parts, she'll be good. And it'll run and it'll drive, and it's crazy that I did that. Like, that's so cool. I'm so obsessed and addicted to wrenching and fixing cars, and I used to not even be able to change my own oil. I mean, I could, but I just didn't like to do it. And yeah, we're swapping motors, which is crazy. So next is building a motor. I feel like that's kind of next on the bucket list. I don't know. I know I haven't been the best about filming the whole process, but honestly, it's just been me learning and fighting with the car. Honestly, pretty smooth for what it was. Like, that's a big job to do, and I did it. I only had a few complications. Yeah, all we have to do is bleed the coolant system, which I can't do until I get the injector seals. I think that's where it's leaking from. But I'm gonna go ahead and prime it, so I'm just gonna turn the key on, and let's see if we can find where this fuel leak's coming from, because super scary. Like, fuel leaking, terrifying. So that injector right there, I think those seals are leaking where they connect into the intake manifold. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a set, replace all the seals. That way we have no issues, and hopefully we don't have any more fuel leaks. These injectors are pretty old. I think the seals are really old. I should have replaced them, but I didn't think much of it, and they looked fine when I put them on. So maybe I pinched them when I was putting them in. We'll find out. So let's go key on the ignition and see if we can see where this is leaking from. All right, so the ignition is on. I don't know if we have fuel pressure right now, but I don't see anything leaking. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead, order new seals. Hopefully that fixes our issue. I don't think it can leak from anywhere else because I didn't mess with anything else on the fuel rail. Because I had the same fuel leak on my old Evo 8 when I replaced the injectors, so I think it's got to be coming from there, hopefully. But other than that, she's pretty solid. Well, boys, I got the injector seals replaced. It took about a week for them to come in, so we're gonna try and restart the Evo now. Super nervous. I really hope this works. I don't think anything will go wrong. I still need to bleed the coolant system. It's in the exact same spot it was. So I'm gonna hook the battery up. We're gonna pray there's no leaks, and we're gonna bleed this thing, and hopefully it's done and drivable. Still piss and fuel. Why are you leaking? Dang it. Boys, this is a pretty cool moment. First time the Evo's out of the garage. I'm honestly so excited. Everything's finished up. I'm gonna go take it on its first drive and make sure everything's good. Get some photos of her, possibly listed for sale, but yeah, check this out. So here she is, boys. No leaks, runs good, idles good, sounds super healthy, and she is just purring. She's ready to go. I'm a little nervous to take this thing on a drive, but it should be just fine. I don't see why we'd have any issues. So let's take her out and let's see how she does. Okay, so you guys will find out soon, but I'm pretty nervous to drive this car right now. There's been a bit of chaos in my life lately, and one of the Evos is no longer here. I didn't sell it, but yeah, it wasn't good. So we're gonna take this car on a spin. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm honestly just gonna drive it to the top of the hill, get some photos of it, get a video, a walk around video. And I just noticed the 3 lights came on for the ACD, so I'm gonna have to bleed that system here in the next day just to make sure it's perfect. Air fuel is sitting at 12. I don't know if that's good. 12.2, 12.1. She sounds good. She sounds healthy. She's got no leaks. So I guess let's just take this thing on a little drive and see how she does. Well, this honestly still blows my mind. I can't believe that I took this car from not running, had a blown motor, swapped a new motor in it, and literally this is the first drive that I've tried. Like 100% honest with you guys, this is the first drive and I haven't had any issues. I haven't really gotten into it. I haven't boosted much, but it runs fine. It's just fine. It sounds good. It feels healthy. I do need to bleed the AYC pump, or whatever, the ACD transfer case. I need to bleed that. So that's literally the last thing I have to do on this thing to make it perfect, other than like the aesthetic stuff. So I don't know. I just got some photos. I'm on the fence about selling it now that I have the, I'm like, do I need 2 all-wheel drive cars? But I really want to keep plugging away on this thing. I want to make it beautiful. I want to get the Brembos powder coated. I want to get the BBS wheels re-powder coated. I want to clean the headlights up. I'd love to get the wing restored and then either wrap the car or paint the car, but I don't know. What do you guys want to see? You want to see me build this thing, or do you just want to see me sell it and then go all in on the possibly bigger turbos and make it beautiful and make it super fast and fun? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want this car, I am going to be asking a lot of money for it because it is, in my opinion, a beautiful example, and everything is matching. All VINs are matching, completely stock body, no dents, just needs paint, and that's it. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm going to drive this thing home, park it in the garage, bleed the AYC pump, and then she should be good to go. But honestly, successful first drive, so let's go. Well, hold on, let me show you guys the car first. Here she is. Look at how beautiful this thing is. I haven't had this thing outside of the garage or the driveway. I literally bought it and it obviously didn't run, but she is gorgeous. So for a 2005 Evo 8 MR, I don't know that you're gonna find a much better example. This does have 107,000 miles on it, but the motor came out of a car with, I believe, 60-ish thousand miles. So the motor is pretty fresh. It's in great condition. It sounds super healthy. It runs good. It's got the BBSs. These wheels are incredibly hard to find. And it's also super hard to find Evos with all matching VINs. So every part of this car is matching, from the front bumper, the hood, all the doors, the trunk. Everything is OEM. And then if you guys don't know, on the MRs, they come with aluminum roofs, and that is kind of a cool feature of these things. So it does have the aluminum roof, and honestly, this car is just an absolute beauty. This car was an Arizona car, so it does have a little bit of fading, well, a lot of fading, but that's all fixable. Boys, so we driving her now. She seems good. It runs good. It boosts fine. You can hear the blow off. I'll get on it a little bit.